What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Hey, shout out to all the veterans today. Happy Veterans Day. We're going to go ahead and get this edition of Bumper to Bumper started. Got a few folks that's going to come in here and we're just going to talk about a few things. Not going to analyze too much, just mainly just regular water cooler conversations. So sit back, relax, enjoy. We got you covered. BirdCage. Hey, welcome to Bumper to Bumper. But before we go ahead and pull up, I got somebody else that we're getting ready to bring up in here. We got another part of the magnificent Birdcage crew in the building. We got K Dub in the building. What's happening?
All right, good to be in the buildings, man. Like I said, sad that I missed the benediction show yesterday. Like I said, we're going to continue to touch on the disappointing loss to the Saints and and kind of sort of get into what we got next week, of course, the Denver Broncos. But I'm glad to be in the house for the bumper to bumper. Anybody out there in traffic listening to us or out there riding around in these streets on Veterans Day, salute to all the veterans once again out there, and I'm good to be in the building. Let's go.
I see you. I was gonna say, I know you ain't got your colors on, but you got two water boys in here. You got a Navy SEAL and you got a Coast Guardsman, aka a Coastie in the building too, man. So it's always good when we can always get to sit back and kind of we're always gonna be brothers at arms, and we still brothers at arms even as a Falcons fan too. So it makes it even sweeter.
For sure. Already.
So let's talk about it, man. We got some other folks that are gonna be coming along the way, but man, so yesterday, what was your analysis on how everything went? Hold up, Smitty.
Smitty in
Open
the
the door.
building. Smitty at
Hey
the door.
man, you
Come
look
on.
Open
look
the
you
door.
look. Normally I don't open my passenger door when I'm on the highway. I keep that thing sitting on me, so can't let you come up in here like that. I had to take a second look. And look,
Just me, bro.
you and this hooligan right here, y'all trying to jump in people's cars.
What you mean, man?
Y'all sitting here diving in folks' cars, man, but it's all good. Welcome, 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 fellas. K Dub, you were saying this
No, I
week
mean,
with the loss that we took yesterday.
well, I mean, my analysis. I didn't get a chance to touch on it yesterday. I had to go and serve at the job, but you got to do what you got to do. But it's good to be in the building. But yesterday, not last night, but yesterday evening, afternoon, I just feel like we went down there and didn't act the part. I mean, as fans, also, I mean, I'm putting the fans on notice, man. You don't go down there and act like a New Orleans fan and show out in these people's streets. That's what they do to us. You know what I'm saying? We have to act like we got some sense. Go down there, handle business, and get back. They down there
Mm-hmm.
celebrate. They celebrate in their streets on Saturday. Yeah, man, we ain't even played. We ain't even played yet. We ain't got no win yet. We ain't did nothing. We haven't arrived yet. We ain't won nothing yet. I don't mind y'all partying a little bit of celebrating a win after you
Mm-hmm.
finish the drill, but not before we play the game. So then we get in there, and then we going back to Mr. Cool that I was in. I actually gave you some praise early in the season. Now you back in the doghouse. Now you go way, way, way back out. I ain't even feeding your ass in the doghouse. So you out there. I mean, I can't make no excuses for you. And I don't want to hear about no percentages or anything like that. Because guess what? Going down the stretch, one thing you're going to do is have to get in pressurized kicks. For some reason, he can hit the long ones if they're 53, 54, but if they're 30, 40 yards, he can't get they hit the side of a bucket. I don't know what's going on there.
Mm.
I think he's on the tape. I
I
think that
know
he
what's
has a
going
I
on.
think he got a secret gambling problem we don't know about. And
I
he's into the debtors or something in Vegas.
Hey man, I think he was
Ah,
point shaving. I don't give a damn what you
not
say.
I mean,
point
I just,
shade.
I just feel. I put that in our group chat. I felt like he's point shaved. Before as the analysis on the field, though, I felt like we didn't play that bad of a football game. I felt that game was winnable. It's going to be. I think I heard Kool Aid saying because I watched a little bit of the show because I was busy, but I heard Kool Aid say that he thought that is that I lost a train of thought, but he was saying that that he thought that us going down there's going to be a tough matchup, and it always is a tough matchup. It's always a tough
It's a
matchup
rivalry.
it's a rivalry. So it don't matter if the Saints were 0-8 or whatever, they're going to play us tough. We were their Super Bowl, and they won it. They're not going to do. They're going to go back to being sorry next week. They go back to losing.
Yeah, they out of the playoffs already.
Yeah, they got up for us. We were their Super Bowl, but we let them off the hook. Like I say, Kirk, I've been saying like I'm just seeing interceptions. You know, I can't let you out the dry. I know you only threw one, but I cannot let you hang out the dry because guess what? You deserve to get under this blade too for turning that ball over. And then they gifted it back to you. The football gods gifted you another chance. And then we get down there and take a sack when you could have threw the ball away and got a terrible field position. So I just feel like it's another learning process. It's looking like my 12-5 is not looking too good, but you know, it is what it is. I think we'll still make the playoffs, but we may have a couple more losses than I thought that we may have. But I'm hoping they can right the ship and turn it around next week in Denver. Because the fan base, we don't need this. We don't need no about faces. We need you to march forward and forward march. I don't need no about face. I need you to move forward. I need you to continue to keep winning and keeping this momentum moving forward. And Raheem, you get some blame. I know I don't normally throw your ass under the blade, but yeah, all this goddamn trying to make a joke about everything and like everything is cool under the sun. It ain't always cool under the sun. Sometimes you got to come into that press conference and say, you know what? We got some issues we need to address, and we're gonna have to address them. Sometimes you gotta get a little tad bit stern. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna say you can't make a joke because I love to laugh, so I'm not saying it. But not every press conference. You can't go out there and win every press conference. Sometimes we got to go up there and we say, man, he ain't playing. He mean business. Well, I'm not.
Exactly.
I haven't felt that he means business yet. I haven't seen a little bit of aggression in your moniker when you come up there in your soliloquies. I need you to feel like you're a little bit upset that we taking these losses. No, I need you to light a fire under this offensive line. You know you got a quarterback that can't move. He can't move. He got
and the only thing he can do is just move. Only thing he can do is really not just move his feet. He definitely can move around in the pocket, but we know he's not a mobile guy. We all know that.
But that's what I'm saying. He can matriculate in the pocket. He can maneuver in the pocket.
Exactly.
That's it. That's it. He is not finna run. He's basically a sitting target. So the key thing is with this offensive line, you need to do your job, especially if they come in unblocked. I see if you made a weak block and they came around it, or you tried to attempt to make a block and they just, maybe power rushed you or something. But when they just come around you and you don't even touch him, or they come in untouched. No. We can't go for that, because then you're going to have a rough day. Anytime that Kirk has all day to throw, he could throw a party on him. Anytime he starts to get hit, we lose the game. Y'all should self-scout. Hold the point of attack. And then we may need to move the lunch points. Offensive coordinator, Mr. Offensive Zach. I love Mr. Zach, but guess what? You got to move that lunch point. You got to quit. So the defensive ends and the defensive line could not sit back and know where Kirk gonna be at. Kirk got to move his lunching points, and he got to learn how to old school. I mean, I know he know how to do it, but we got to do more pump fakes. You get less interception.
But here's the problem. Jake Matthews got whipped like a redheaded stepchild yesterday.
No.
He got whipped. The old vet got whipped. McGarry gave up a sack yesterday, but the guy that was getting whipped was the veteran who is more entrenched in this rivalry than anyone. And it was an embarrassment to watch how he got blown off the ball. It was an embarrassment. So when you sit back and look back or whatnot at everything, all I can say is at this point, like you said, you got to go back to the drawing board. You got to make some tough decisions. You've got to put this team in a situation where the fire has to be lit. All right, everybody was cool with all the swag surfing and all this, but here's the thing. You got to understand, NFL stands for not for long. So guess what?
Yeah.
It's time for you to light that fire, put some cayenne pepper, some ghost peppers. It don't matter. You're going to have to put some fire on some of these dudes' backside. And I'm keeping it PG right now. But if I go back to my military days, I'd be cussing like the sailor that I am. So it's best for me to kind of keep it kind of G with this one here, with this bumper to bumper. It's frustrating to lose, but in the fashion that you lost, where you saw no pride with this team. You saw no pride with this team yesterday. Only a few players showed up and showed out.
No, Bijan brought in lunch for you. I give him
that. He did. And that's why I said I'm praising him, win, lose, or draw. Bijan did his job. Bijan looked like the guy that we were supposed to bring in as a first-round pick. And at this point, I got to ask Chris this real quick. So, Tiff, now we were talking about this, and this was something that Smitty and myself talked about earlier this week, and I said this on the BirdCage. I said we made the mistake. I think Raheem made the mistake in bringing in 2 young coordinators and giving them that much responsibility. I felt like you should have brought in 2 grizzled veterans with the title of being the OC and the DC, and you bring in these guys to let them be an assistant OC and an assistant DC, and you let them still run everything. But what has to happen is it goes through the guys that's got the title, and they're pretty much gonna make those decisions and let them learn that way. How do you feel about that part of this team if Raheem would have had that type of approach?
Yeah, I definitely think there should have been that type of approach. I mean, these guys, were already rookies coming in. We knew that. And we had to live with the decision, so whether we agreed with it or not, we had to live with the decision. And, having a guy like Jimmy Lake coming in who just keeping it real hasn't done anything yet. And you're asking him to lead your defense after coming off of Ryan Nielsen, a guy who has been in the league. It kind of seems like you're going backwards. But also we know that Raheem and Jimmy are friends. And then we also know that Raheem already had this set in stone. He already knew what he was going to do before he even got the job.
Yeah.
That's another reason why Zach Robinson is here. Like they already talked about this. Like, you're going to be my guy when I get a head coaching job. So he already had that. He wasn't even going to do any due diligence around the league at all. He already had his guys. But you had Brian Flores out there who wasn't locked up by the Vikings yet. You could have possibly brought him in, had that defensive mind, and still brought in Jimmy Lake as an assistant or something. You still could have did that, but
as a position,
you didn't. So now, so now you got Jimmy all out here, figuring it out. But I mean, Jimmy is making second half adjustments. We know that we're a second half team though. Now,
but Tip, here's the problem with this though. When you talk about this, Raheem Morris's issue, and I'm gonna say it, nobody else has to say it. Raheem Morris is afraid if he brings in a competent coach that is up under him, and if the Falcons underperform, he is going to get his head chopped off. I'm gonna say this: if you're an elite coach, if you're a great coach, you're not going to lose your job. The more than likely, what's going to happen is you're going to have a revolving door of great coordinators that want to come and work with you. You don't have to worry about losing your job if you're producing. If you are not producing, then you do that. It's the same issue that we're having at the University of Georgia with Kirby Smart at this point with Mike Bobo. And I'm just calling a spade a spade. You can't just bring your friends in to work a job, because sometimes you have to have a little bit of tension or a contentious relationship to push you to the next level. You can't be buddy all the time. It doesn't work.
You can't, man. I mean, I hate to go to a basketball term, but you look at Michael and Scotty. I mean, not necessarily guys that you got along, but guess what? They won many times. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I know those players are not coaches, but I'm just saying just an example of when the guys are not necessarily friends. You know,
think about it. Bill Parcells. Oh, go ahead, Kato. My bad.
No, I'm just saying. I mean, you guys are making valid points, but also in the coaching circle, people are always going to coach with people they're familiar with. That's just how coaching is done. I mean, they got to have some familiarity with each other when they're coaching. You got to be able to get along, because you have to spend a lot of hours in those coaching, meeting rooms together. So they have to be able to get along. I mean, that's what you're looking for.
I mean, I was about to say, I got a little pushback on that to myself.
Because I give you this. One of the greatest teams of all time, the 85 Bears, Mike Ditka and Buddy Ryan did not get along.
No, I know that.
No, I'm just saying the reason I say contention, because think about it, Bill Parcells and Bill Belichick, they didn't get along till later in life. They didn't like each other.
When they forced to work with each other, though, Bill,
they were forced to work with each other because remember, But that was because But here's the thing, that was because George Halas promoted contention on the squad. That was how he was brought up. That was how he had coaches doing that. But I'm just saying. So in a sense, contention works because we see this let's go back to it, K-Dub. Let's go to our military days. How many times did we see division heads that did not like each other in our unit? And guess what? They had to work together, but they were able to get the best out of everybody around.
No.
We hated each other.
I understand what you're saying. It's like opposites attract. What I'm saying, that's the key thing. It's just not a relationship, but in a working relationship also. But a lot of these coaching circles, they like to work with people they're familiar with, have a good rapport with. That's what I'm saying. Now, what's going to end up happening? He's going to have to fire his guys and then do exactly what you said, what he should have did in the first place. That's what's going to happen. He got to bring in some grizzled veterans, like you said.
But it was a lot. But here's the thing. And I'm going to let Smitty jump in because I got a question for him. But it was a lot of people who literally was like, let him work. Let him do this here. And then I'm like, no. I was saying hell no. Because it's like, look, this is his second job. I get that you're going to go out the way that you're going to go out. But you got to put yourself in a position to where you can be successful so you don't have to go out. Because here's the thing. It's not too many stops after Atlanta, my friend. Atlanta is not too many stops after this. You lose your job here, it's far and few with trying to get jobs. And I'm not going to bring the race thing into this.
Other jobs are about who you know. So
exactly,
because if you're not connected, you might not get that next opportunity.
And that's how many job.
How many black head coaches do we see getting retreaded in the NFL, fellas? Honestly,
not many.
Not many at
Think
all.
about it. Ryan Flores got a favor done for him because Tomlin was a good friend of his. And then when Minnesota lost their defensive coordinator, you pretty much saw that they jumped on it because he showed that he was still competent in spite of the BS. We see the mess that's going on in Miami right now.
Mm-hmm.
So we see that Flores was the genius down there in Miami.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Ever since he left, it's been turmoil down there with that defense. They just been they've been going through it.
But I got one for you now.
You could have had him.
But here's the thing, and I'm gonna bring this to Smitty. Now, I believe we still got a chance to do some things because everybody picked us to win the division, but they don't see us making no noise and nothing like that in the playoffs. I think that we have a talented team if we catch fire at the right time and everybody's clicking. I think that we can make some noise and outside of making noise, I would say I'm gonna give you a similarity. You know, I got to live up to my moniker of being a historian. Our team is similar to the 1980 Oakland Raiders. No one's picking you to win anything. Just being honest. Your defense was known, but you're getting a quarterback who was borderline MVP pretty much, and he's trying to revamp his career because everywhere Kirk Cousins has gone, he's done well in the season and he's flopped in the postseason. He's flopped. Let's just keep this a buck. And then he starts to struggle after he goes to the postseason in the regular season. We've seen this. So I'm not comparing him to Jim Plunkett because Jim Plunkett was a hell of a quarterback. I'm sorry. The situation is very similar. Very similar. You're bringing a quarterback in to revamp his career with a team that nobody really sees making noise. What do you think Atlanta's strength is going to be if they figure out what's going to be a position where they can make some real noise in the postseason?
They got to figure out their identity first. You got to figure out what you want to do, how you're going to come in and week out and hit people in the mouth. Once you learn your identity, everything else falls in place. I've said time after time, I think they should stick to their bread and butter, which is running the football. Wear the defense down and you let Kirk Cousins beat you with what he knows best. And that's play action. So once they learn, how to be consistent stay in rhythm on offense. And don't get me wrong, every game brings a new challenge because everybody's going to attack you different. But even though they attack you different, you still find a game plan where you can stay consistent as to getting your playmakers to football. So that is to me going to be the key. Defensively, defense just got to be it just got to get up and play. That front seven has to get up and play. And I think it was you that said it that wanted to know. I take that back. I'm gonna take a apart from Mad Mike. He said that Raheem Morris, Jerry Gray, all those guys are guys that coach defensive backs, which is probably why the defensive line is struggling. And I agree with that to a certain extent. But Jerry Gray, on the other hand, he was a dominant defensive coordinator in the early 2000s. So, as I said last night, and I told Chris, after the bye week, you got to switch it over, man. You got to switch it over to Jerry Gray for him to put that enthusiasm to this defense, call the plays, and, hopefully turn this thing around with getting after the quarterback. Because you see the difference it made with Dallas. It had Dak Prescott just all over the field. So imagine what he does against guys like Justin Herbert, Jaden Daniels, even Sam Darnold. Yeah, I said Sam Darnold because he's playing this year. So when they find their identity, man, all around, I think it makes this team one not to be played with, because when you don't have an identity, you're scrambling week in and week out, see what works. That's going to get old. Teams are going to figure out, because guess what? It's film after every football game. So teams are going to attack you many different ways.
So here's the thing. Nobody's making excuses. My thing is I'll address it. Nobody's making excuses, because when you tune into the cage or whatnot, you see I'm hard on that. This ain't a platform for excuses. I've always said that whoever's at that helm needs to be held accountable, because at the end of the day, everything goes through you. Raheem's now really has to be held accountable, because at the end of the day, the way that this team has been, you can't continue to live at the end of a lightning bolt. You can't continue to do that, because eventually that lightning bolt goes out.
Burned. Oh,
it gets burned out. And you can't continue to keep trying to win games at the end with the last drive. When you have opportunities to put games away, you have to. Do it. At the worst drive yesterday was this. If I'm going to give you a negative, I'm going to give you a positive to go along with it. Here's the negative. The negative was you had 2 minutes and you had 3 timeouts yesterday. We were driving down the field. No problem. Zach Robinson's got to get up under the blade, because at that point in the drive, you should have just said, all right, we're going to hand it off because we're within field goal range to tie this. You run Bijan at that point. And at this time, when you talk about running him, not just running him between the tackles, you have to use him. And Algier, that should have been a Bijan and Algier drive to pretty much say, all right, we're going to run the ball. We're going to try to drain as much of this clock as we can. If we can pop 6, we can pop 7 on this, we're going to pop 7 on this. If we don't pop 7 on this, guess what? We're going to have to put this in Cool's hands, even though he's missed. You know what I'm saying? You give yourself a chance. But when you put the ball in the air, when you have control, time on your side, time is against you, but it was in your back pocket and you have momentum going, you don't give that momentum away. You just don't.
I agree.
And then on the last drive, why are you throwing Kyle Pitts across the middle of the field? I understand that he's a big body, but on that drive, you should have had Kadero Hodge in there. If Mooney wasn't able to get it, guess what? You have to get your speed receivers in a situation to where they can catch it and get to the sideline or get down. And there was no urgency yesterday with this offense on either one of those drives. No urgency. So the positive out of it was this. So here's my positive spin out of it. The defense gave the offense another opportunity. Even though Kamara dropped the pass trying to be greedy, they were trying to be greedy. They had the game won. Your defense got a 3-and-out. Even if he dropped the pass, it doesn't matter. They got a 3-and-out. You have a chance to run the ball. I mean, you have a chance to get the ball down the field. And that should have been a 2-minute offense right off the bat. We should have been up tempo in the second half to create more of a rhythm for Kirk Cousins because he operates better in a 2-minute offense.
Yep.
I don't know if anybody's paid attention to that.
That's funny you say that. That's funny you say that
made a living off of this.
You talk about rhythm. This tells you a lot that the Falcons are not growing like they should be growing. 31 seconds left on the clock. You mean to tell me you can't get a play into the quarterback with 31 seconds left? They ran off 20 seconds. And when they snapped the ball, it was, I think, 10 or 11 seconds left. By the time they run the play and Ray McLeod catch the ball, it's 4 seconds. As soon as he goes out of bounds, the clock gone. I mean, you can't do better clock management than that. That lets me know that the play call is still not on the same page, even after 10 games. Mm-hmm. That's not acceptable.
Then it was still turnover on downs regardless.
There you go.
And what hurts me outside of this, I got one of my best friends or whatnot. We call him Debo because he was on the ship with us. He definitely was built like Debo. He's a Saints fan. So I got to hear from him. Yeah, I didn't get to hear from him yesterday, but he just tagged me on my Facebook clowning about the game yesterday, saying Happy Veterans Day. It's always a good day when I can get a dub off of you and your squad. It was the funniest thing. Oh yeah, listen, it's okay because guess what? Them boys, they on some other stuff. But all I'm saying is this. This is just regular talk. We ain't coming in here to cry, to moan, to complain, because this ain't what this is. It's just bumper to bumper. We just have an honest conversation. If we wanted to complain and cry, that was yesterday. That was the benediction.
Got that out the way.
This ain't a show where we gonna sit here and whine and cry. Here's the thing: we diagnosed what was up, and we gonna put ourselves in a position to talk about the bright side of yesterday, some of the few things that we saw, and what they need to do to build off of it. Because we have too much talent on this team offensively. Defensively, right now, they're still figuring this out. Right. So all I'm saying is we have to be in a position to get to this. We have to be in a position to get to the playoffs. At this point, crying and whining ain't gonna do it. I'm gonna tell you like this. It's a lot of Falcon fans out here. If I catch hell for it, so the hell, whatever. I don't give a damn. I put on a military uniform for 8 years of my damn life. You don't think I'm worried? You don't think I ain't catch hell for that? So y'all getting in your feelings about it, it don't bother me. What I'm saying is this. As Falcon fans, you have to stop being conditioned to crying. Stop whining. Stop damn whining. You lost the damn game yesterday to the Saints. It sucks. It sucks. But guess what? Yeah. We still at the top of the division right now. We control our own destiny.
Third
we have 4 losses. We could be where we got 7 losses and 2 wins or 3 wins right now.
Third in NFC.
We're still third in the NFC.
They went 4 losses.
So again,
I can't be in the
so here's the thing: we got problems, we have deficiencies, we get it, but damn, quit crying, quit whining. I might as well create a segment called the tissue paper segment and let people cry. Shit,
tissue paper.
I'm calling this you know what? Yeah. I'm gonna create a segment. The BirdCage has coined this, so if I see you taking it like somebody took my term, blood pressure birds or whatnot. We gonna call this the tissue paper set. We gonna call a segment the tissue paper segment. So if you want to get in, cry, complain, and moan, all I'm gonna do is sit back with a pen and pad like a therapist, and we gonna let y'all folks get into it. Because guess what?
Man, I just want to be the dude holding the violin. You know that's my thing. Right?
Hey, Smitty. You know what? This is how we gonna do this. You'll be holding the violin. I'm holding the pad. K-Dub, you got the wine and the cheese, dog. We going back to your rate in the military, dog. We got your rate. And then Smitty, this is all you gonna do. We got you frying the chicken in the back.
Oh, he can do that.
Just don't eat half of it, dog.
He can. Oh, he can fry the chicken. He gonna try.
Smitty the chicken man, bro.
You gonna try it?
All I'm
Hey,
saying
I
is
got
this.
my bar of hot sauce somewhere around here. It's somewhere.
No,
All
see
I'm
what I'm
saying is
talking
this:
about?
you gotta get rid of, at this point. You gotta get rid of Koo at this point. I'm sorry,
Say
you
get
gotta
rid
get
of
rid
him.
of Koo at this point. And I'm gonna say it.
Or at least have. I was thinking about. I was talking to
I was
somebody
about
at
to
work. Can we
say.
have a kick?
I was about
Can
to
we have
say
a
they
kicking
should bring in
contest
some competition, but Cool not going nowhere,
and
Ryan.
kick? And I
But
want y'all
here's
to
the
kick
thing.
it out.
It's my thing. If you're gonna draft a kicker, you got one up the road from you at University of Georgia right now, one of the best in the nation, Peyton Woodring. Guess what? Bring him in.
Okay.
Young cat, bring him in. You got guy, and I said if you don't bring him in, I said this yesterday. Bring in a guy from the Big Ten or even on the West Coast that kicks in cold weather. Bring a guy that could actually kick a rock in the wind.
I
Because
do you one better.
what's
Bring
that?
in one from a journalism school like Vanderbilt or Northwestern. Them dudes always have rocket legs. Always.
And
But I
well,
want a guy that kicks in the cold weather because guess what?
Northwestern is up
Kick
north.
anywhere.
Yeah.
Northwestern
Yeah,
is
you
up
kick
north.
anywhere,
yeah,
right?
I'm just not
No,
trusting nobody out of Ohio State. I'm telling you that now.
You got word. You ain't got
You
the
wrong.
word.
But
You wrong.
let me throw this out because I've been running my darn mouth, man. Because I've had people, and it's not, I've had some folks calling me. I've had family members and other Falcon fans like, damn it, I'm not. Listen, if you crying to me, I'm gonna tell you to stop crying and whining. I'm tired of hearing it. I'm serious, man. We still, if we were losing the division right now, I would say that. I would let you do that. But we winning right now, minus yesterday. We winning, and you crying? The
Well,
hell out
see,
of here with
fans
that.
don't understand. Y'all got
What?
to understand too. Y'all say we cry when we give y'all what we think about the game, but we just giving
Right.
y'all what they doing wrong, so y'all can see
That's it.
exactly what they need to fix.
Exactly. I
Hey,
called
Win
look,
or
11 and
I
loss.
don't
5.
want to hear. I don't want to hear
Win
y'all
or
fans
loss,
cry.
we're gonna say
That
the
what
good things and the bad things because there are things that need to be improved upon. We can talk about
Right.
those things and get it out, but we're not gonna drag it out through the week because right now, honestly, I got everything I needed to say out already.
Yeah,
You know, so it
yeah.
is what it is. It's on to Denver
It's
because we
on
still got a
turn the
chance to
page.
go into the bye week with our win total that we've had for the last 3 seasons. We got a chance to go into the bye week with 7 wins already. When the last time we've been able
Exactly.
to do that, though?
But it's gonna be
We
a
have an
tough, tall
opportunity in
order.
front of our face. And we
The,
I
got to
the
mean,
take it.
offensive line
it's
gonna have to
what it
step up.
is.
That offensive line gonna have to step up because they did a good job of hitting Mahomes. So we got hey, look, y'all up.
Broncos.
Offensive line, you up. You
Right.
can't do what you got to do and keep
What?
this man clean so he can pick these boys apart. I need that. We need that.
Yeah.
Sometimes you
Broncos,
need a good
Vikings,
sometimes you
Chargers.
need a good slap.
Sometimes.
Sometimes you need a good slap in the face to wake you up. Because guess what?
Yeah, wake the hell up.
Losing to these guys was definitely something that should wake this team up because that's showing you that okay, you still have a target on your back. You're at the top of the division. Guess what?
Right.
People are going to try to knock you off because they're hearing about the Falcons turning things around. They're hearing about how pretty much the team is starting to figure out how to win. They're going to test that theory. It's still an
Week in and
NFL
week
team,
out.
whether they 1-9, whether they 9-0, it don't matter. You got guys with car seats in the back of their cars, guys that's got mortgages, guys that's got side women they got to pay to keep quiet about them babies. I mean,
True.
it's all kinds of stuff that these jokers got. But I'm just telling
Man.
you, you laughing,
like-
but you
I
know
just
I'm
feel
telling
like-
the
No,
truth.
it's the truth.
I feel like they
It's
took them
true.
lightly, man. I feel like how you gonna take your bitter rivals lightly because of their record? That's what it felt like.
No,
You can't go
and
there
that's
taking
exactly
that
what it
thing
felt
lightly,
like.
man.
Though.
It felt like
I
took
tell
it
you one
lightly.
thing.
Even
I-
Cam Jordan got there having a sack. Like, get
I
out
tell
there.
you one
He
thing,
ain't did nothing
K-Dub.
all year.
I'll tell
Oh,
you
damn
one
yeah.
thing, K-Dub. I believe, and this may be my fandom coming
Yep.
out, but I believe that the
Yep,
Falcons will
agreed.
never. Oh yeah, definitely. But
Mhm.
I believe that the Falcons are not going to take any more opponents lightly. I really believe that because you don't got smacked in the face 2 times with the white glove. Pop, pop. Seahawks, Saints. Now that's 2 reality checks that you don't gotten. 2 teams that don't got off the schneid against you when they having losing streaks. I don't think that this
And
coaching
honestly,
staff is worth anything, and that this team is really the team that we think that they can be,
Yep.
I believe that, you know what I'm saying, going forward, it's going to be eyes open. They got to. They can't afford any more collapses like that. You know what I'm saying? Honestly.
And speaking of collapses, yesterday's game, it changed my train of thought a little bit. And I told Chris this last night after the show.
Oh yeah. Give it to him.
Tampa Bay got to be licking their chops. I know they got a lot of injuries on their team right now. And people call for Todd Bowles' job, even though he's doing the best he can, but that team is still fighting. They have an easier schedule than we do down the stretch. If they come back and somehow tie this division, they're going to find a way to take the division. And it's all because of complacency. It's all because of mindset. This team has to have a dog mentality mindset, just like Tampa Bay has. Even though they have injuries, that team comes out and fight every Sunday.
Now, here's the crazy part about it. When you talk about it, you have the mindset, and this is what happens when you have it. You have a mindset whether you're going to fight or flight. It's one or two. It's fight or flight. Complacency sets in when you start looking at your work. It sets in. And I say it just like this. The best example I could give you, go back to Buster Douglas when he fought Mike Tyson. Mike was rolling through everybody. He had problems out the ring. The only thing that was keeping them together was in the ring. He really felt he was just going to wear Buster Douglas out. He didn't train. He didn't do anything. Guess what? Buster fought the best fight of his life that night. And wait a minute. And remember this. When Buster was picking them apart in that fight, there was a part in that fight where he was like, oh, man, you ain't so bad. You ain't so bad. I'm wearing you out. Tyson caught him. Dropped him. He has to get hit one good time to get up and finish that fight. Guess what? We hit New Orleans yesterday. We hit them yesterday. It's just what it is. We jumped on. We thought they were going to go away. Guess what? They did not go away. And they knocked us out yesterday, just like Tyson got knocked out with Buster Douglas. Best way to put it. We got all the thing with Mike Tyson.
And it's so funny. And it's so funny, though, because there was motivation on both accounts. Buster had just lost his mama, and they just fired their head coach.
Yep.
Yeah.
Think about it. You think about it.
But
they just lost their coach just like Buster lost his mama. So what you think was gonna happen?
Boxing is an excellent analogy, and I'm looking at this guy named Wilder right now who has been losing his ass off the last couple of fights. But Sunday's game, it has to give the Atlanta Falcons a mindset. Are we good enough to beat these teams going forward? Games like yesterday against a 2-7 team with 7 straight losses, it could do something to your mentality as a team. It could cause you to lose trust in your coaches. It could cause you to lose trust in the people playing right next to you. So this Sunday's game against Denver is going to be key to let you know where their mindset is at after that game. So that's what I'm looking for. And that's the only reason I said. And that's the only reason I said it scares me to lose to a 2-7 team, then go to Denver, and they're a 500 team, and you can't beat them either. After the bye week, what you gonna do?
Chargers after the bye.
You got the Chargers coming in after. You got the Chargers. You got to play after that.
Then you got to go to Minnesota. So you got 3 defenses that you're gonna have to show up against, and all
Monday night game against the Raiders.
Get after the quarterback.
And a Monday night game against the Raiders.
It gets even better. You got to play Washington in week 17, and they gonna and they're already clicking on all cylinders. Thank you. And then you got the Panthers at the end of the season for a rivalry game. And again, that is another game that you cannot take lightly. You got to put them away because, again, they don't mind spoiling your season. That's pretty much what they're going to do at this point. But I still think that we go 11-5. I think we can go 11-5. You just have to handle business, and you got to play a complete game.
Think about this with both of those.
My guy Justin Simmons.
With both of those teams, you talk about Denver going into this game Sunday. Sean Payton knows the Falcons. You talk about Washington. Dan Quinn drafted half of these players on this team, so he knows these players. They're going to know how to attack this team. So that's 2 games right there that you say, what can we do? I don't
Justin
know.
Simmons should know the Broncos because he played in
and
that and played in that
with
system.
Minnesota,
Justin Simmons needs to be the leader in this game for sure. Just
No,
like how he
not
was,
just this game.
like
Wait a
he was
minute,
against
Chris.
the Kansas City Chiefs. He was out there
Chris.
being very vocal that game.
But it shouldn't just be that game. Here's the thing.
You're right.
Justin Simmons got to get better with this playbook. You can
Period.
see that he looks lost.
Yeah,
it's
he was
not
lost
just
Sunday.
the game.
Yeah.
Justin Simmons does not know this playbook fully, and you can tell that he does not know it because he's been out of position all season.
Bro, you seen the play where the second touchdown was the second touchdown, I believe, from Scantling. The one pretty much the way they use leverage, where the Saints use leverage and everything. If Justin Simmons plays that correctly, that's a pick.
Thank you. Everybody wanted to try to blame Jesse Bates for that, but no, that wasn't Bates. Bates was trying to get over there and trying to stop the guy from scoring. But
Bates actually was supposed to be on that play. Bates actually was looking in the backfield at Kamara, trying to come out the backfield. And then you also had AJ Terrell there, but he went across there. But Justin Simmons had nobody, and he pointed he pointed out to the flats, and he had nobody. Then he started coming in. Why? I don't know. Play goes right past him. If he just stays put and makes a break toward that ball, he either breaks it up or it's an interception.
Perfect. And we said this. This is what happens when you don't understand the whole playbook. This is what happens when you bring a guy in that hasn't been in this system for a minute. Because again, Jesse Bates, and I'm gonna let K-Dub go in there and Smitty. Jesse Bates, I'll say this. Jesse Bates plays better when he doesn't have restrictions on him. And I say he ain't got chains on him. When Jesse Bates was free, he was all over the field. When he had a counterpart in DeMarco Hellams, he was all over the place. He didn't have to worry about anything. Now you have someone, and Simmons is a big hitter. Simmons is a hitter. That's what he is. He's an enforcer. But he also is a bit of a thief when he wants to be, when it comes to intercepting passes. But with him not knowing that playbook, it hinders this defense in a lot of ways. But no one wants to talk about that.
Yeah. I mean, he got to get better.
Because my thing is people jump on Judon, but I feel like we don't jump on Simmons enough too. And that's why I like even this morning with T. Will and them, I was like, hey, yo, Justin Simmons, because I was one of the guys that advocated for you the most to come to Atlanta. I got to jump on you. I'm calling you out. I need to see more from you. You're one of the guys that's supposed to help the secondary. Not saying that you haven't made plays, but it hasn't been to the level that we have seen and been used to of past. And it almost, and I even got a message this morning from a friend, and we were just talking about Falcons. And he asked me, hey, man, is Justin Simmons washed up? Was the Broncos, is that the reason why the Broncos really let him go? I know it was money, but is it let him go because of his play? But last year, he still played well as well. So it's just like, I can't really just go for that. But those are the conversations that I'm saying Falcon fans are starting to have. Is Justin Simmons washed? And we can't have that. We need more. We just need more, y'all.
And here's the problem when you talk about everything that's going on with the Falcons and whatnot. One of the issues that we also have is this. I've said it, when you talk about Raheem Morris not turning up the dial, my thing is this: the defense should be a lot better off at this point, because let's be real, this man has one of the greatest football minds on the defensive side of the ball with Jerry Gray. AJ Terrell started playing a little bit better when things started, when the season first started. You seeing that AJ's got his confidence. AJ's figuring this out. He's doing what Jerry Gray is teaching. One of the biggest things that has hurt us, Mike Hughes going down, hurt Sunday.
Yeah, that hurt yesterday.
That was a true game changer, because when Hughes, and here's the thing, I was questionable about Hughes last year, but I was like, okay, maybe it was this here, and he was learning the system. Because a lot of guys in their first year learning the system, they're going to make a lot of mistakes. They're going to get beat. It's a lot of things. But now that he
Right.
knows the system, he's been a solid number 2. And
he
you
was the
got
only one
Clark
that could
Phillips
keep up with
playing.
Valdez Scantling too. He was the
Exactly.
only
And
one
then
that
you
could
had
keep up
Clark
with him.
Phillips and D. Alford playing in the slot. And I think that, and you see that, you saw the dividends of that. So Clark, we got to also look at that there. What is the depth like in our secondary room? How are we getting these young guys to come in and fill up? Because Clark Phillips III got burnt, but he adjusted. He figured it out real quick.
He did.
Also, he didn't have no help over the top, just like
He
Terrell
did.
did
I was just about to say
with
he didn't have.
Simmons. So
Nope. And that was on Simmons too.
Yeah,
Yep.
Yeah, because he it was crazy because he was in the replay. You just see him. He like talking about
just
Simmons, and
looking
then
in
like
the
he just
backfield.
played just going right by him.
While looking in the backfield. Yep.
Yeah, so
Went
it's
for
just
that pump fake. Yeah.
So
that was it.
we'll wrap it up with this one, fellas. I want to ask each one of y'all a question about this and not make it too crazy. But when you look at the Falcons, we see what the schedule is like. We also understand anything can happen.
Right.
Do you feel as if going forward, the Falcons are going to be in a spot to where they're going to start using some of these younger guys in some of these games? Because one of the biggest factors that we've had is this is the most that we've seen Drake banged up. Are we going to start using Kadero Hodge a little bit more? Are we going to start using Casey Washington on the defensive side when Helms comes back? Are we going to put him in a spot to where he can start back, getting back into football shape and being able to play later in the season? How are we going to work this rotation with the guys that we have and figure out how to catch fire and continuity to finish out this season and get to the playoffs without limping into it? I'm going to let K-Dub start first.
I feel like what we need to do is continue to we'll be all right though. You know what I'm saying? We will be all right, but we just got to continue to do the things that we got to do to circle the wagons and come out on top, man. Like I said, we can't cry with spoiled milk. You know what I'm saying? We got the record we got, and we're gonna march forward. Like I said, we got to make the changes that we need, the wholesale changes we need to make. We got to use them young guys. We got to use every young guy that we have. Why would you draft him? I want to see what Dorless got. Give him the plays he do know. He might not know the whole playbook, but give me the plays he do damn got down. Can I see a little bit of these guys? You drafted them. I want to see every guy that you drafted, because right now you're going to need guys. You're going to need depth, like we always talk about. You're going to need depth moving forward to go into these playoffs. We got to see what these guys got, see where they can help this team at. What's the point of drafting them and you're going to stash them? Go ahead and play them, man. It may actually be a superstar. You never know.
Right.
Smitty, and then
Smitty.
What they're gonna have to do?
Back clockwise.
I told you what they're gonna have to do. They're gonna have to just get in rhythm and find a way to stay there. I said it from the jump. Kirk Cousins has to be Zach Robinson eyes on the field, and if Kirk Cousins is inconsistent and making bonehead plays, that's not helping Zach Robinson dial up the right plays during the game. So we all know, and you said it with B-John. B-John was eating Sunday. So you mean to tell me you can't get into your bag of tricks with the play action coming out these runs to take vertical shots down the field with the Saints having injuries at cornerback? Look at Alontae Taylor. He got called for holding 3 times in that game. You mean to tell me you can't take advantage of that? So it's all about rhythm, man. It's all about rhythm on offense. It's all about consistency on defense. And if they do that, nobody can beat the Falcons but the Falcons. And that's been the case. Right. The last 2 games that they've lost, they beat themselves.
Right.
I feel bad for you because you got to deal with that damn idiot TJ, man. I love TJ. I just talk trash, but you got to deal with that fool TJ.
I ain't got to deal with him. He still ain't got nothing to say. I mean,
no, he gonna break it out.
But he was right when he said that they were gonna win because they had nothing to lose, and they played like they had nothing to lose.
They played like that too.
You know what? We didn't get it all out there on the line.
They left what you put out there on the line. They definitely left it out there. Hey man, consistency all around, man. All 3 phases. All right, we gotta have it. We can't have any lack because you see when we lack in one area, the team has to do what they have to do to try to make up the deficit. I just want to be a balanced team. I want to play for 60 minutes, competent football, and stop trying to outsmart yourself. Like we already don't seen enough of that. You keep it simple. Again, we go back to it. You're having a dominant drive, running the ball. Stop taking the ball out the hot hand. You know what I'm saying? We can make it simple. If we ran it 80 times, guess what? Here comes 81 because you're not stopping it. So my thing is, we just got to be consistent, competent, and just like don't outsmart ourselves. Don't keep shooting ourselves in the foot. Knock off the costly penalties. Excuse me. You got to knock off the costly penalties. They kill drives. So, and it all ties back into like the word I said again, consistency and competence, man. We got to have it. You do that, you really can be unbeatable. Well, you'll be beatable. You know what I mean, though. You really can set yourself up more nice and everything and take advantage. I'm going to say what you said earlier, Ryan. And when you have the opportunity to put your foot on the neck of the other team, put that away. Put them away. Stop letting guys stay in the games because that's going to kill you further. You seen the Detroit Lions last night? I'm just saying, 5 picks. Those are teams that you're going to have to play. Those are teams that
they still found a way to win.
5
picks.
They
getting their butt beat and they still found a way to win.
Still found a way to win.
I turned the game off early third. I'm like, ain't no way nobody winning no 5 picks. I wake up, I like, oh, they done found a way.
That's what I'm saying. You find a way.
Yeah,
you find a way, and that goes back to coaching because that team believes in the coach and the coaching staff believe in those players, and they're all connected. That's what we're trying to get to. That's why we're still commanding excellence from our team because we don't have that luxury to just be sitting back and just saying everything gonna be all right. Sometimes, we got to see it on the field.
I want perfect example. You see what the Arizona Cardinals are doing. They started off 1-3. Now they're 6-4.
Man, Kyler
is out there slinging the football, man. They just going head first. If we make it, we make it. We don't, we don't. But we got to try.
But here's the thing I'm going to say. Defensively, because I saw some in the comments in the chat, here's my thing. Judon gets doubled. I get not all the time, but Judon's been put in a lot of bad situations because before he started getting doubled and everything, he's been the only pass rusher that we've had. Let's be honest about this. Arnold Ebiketie, as my man Kool-Aid would say, that's the aerobics king. Right there. That is the cardio king right there. That's Arnold Ebiketie. So at the end of the day, I look at it like this.
They're running around.
What hurt us was the fact that they're so worried about keeping picks for next year. But at this point, it's like, look, you don't know what next year is going to be like. You don't know what's going to happen. You should have emptied the clip at this point. You could have had as a Darius Smith. You could have made an offer to Azeez Ojulari because guess what? They were willing to deal, but you didn't want to give up picks. You didn't want.
They didn't even get Yannick Ngakoue, and he got released.
Exactly. You could have claimed Ngakoue. And at the end of the day, it's like this. It comes down to not just the pass rush. It comes down to leadership. This is what I said in all season, and I'm standing 10 toes down on it, man. My head coach, Raheem Morris, drug his feet and BS'd around by saying, oh, well, we're fine with what we have. No, the hell we're not. You see it's been a problem. You see it's been a problem that you're pretty much last in the league in sacks. You're not able to generate pressure. You're giving guys a free ride when your corners are playing 5 yards off and your defense is tailored towards physicality. You're pretty much putting yourself in a situation to where you're giving guys opportunities to look great against a defense that was the number 1 red zone defense in the league last year and a top 10 defense in the league last year. You allowed Calais Campbell to walk. Terry, you got to get up under the blade on this one, bro. You allowed Calais Campbell to walk. Let's keep this a buck. Calais Campbell is better. No, I'm gonna put this out here.
No, you're talking about the size of defensive tackle.
I don't give a damn.
Yeah, I get that.
Calais Campbell's better than Grady Jarrett. Look at the numbers. The man has been in the league for damn near 20 years for a reason. And guys don't want to talk about this. This man has been balling since he's been in the league. Even last year when he found the fountain of youth when Grady went out. What happened? What happened? This man helped generate a pass rush. This man controlled the pocket. This man is doing what we want this defense to do. He's tailored for a 3-4 defense. That is what he played in Miami. That is what he played in Jacksonville. He did it in Arizona. He's been a fixture.
Baltimore too.
Rashaan Evans is another guy that you need to start giving more playing time to. Our linebacking core, we didn't touch on that now. We're not going to get into that. We're saving that for later. And here's the thing. Our linebacking core has been abysmal this year. It's been abysmal. I get that Troy Anderson had a couple of good games, but my thing is continuity and consistency. Troy is still a project. Troy is not a true linebacker. If you're going to use him being an athlete on that defense, use him as an edge rusher at this point. Speed, size, aggression. He can beat most of these linemen because he's strong as hell and he's got speed. Use it. Use it to your advantage. Come on, man. Jimmy Lake, put your pride aside and start talking to Jerry Gray a hell of a lot more than you've been talking to him. Zach Robinson.
Yeah.
This is what else you need to do. All I can say is this. You've got to figure out, because you don't have anybody truly to answer to except Raheem. You got to figure out how to become more consistent with keeping momentum going. Because you kill momentum every game, even when we win it.
Yep,
I'm going to start calling you Zach. Instead of just Zach, everybody was calling him Zach Attack Robinson. Yeah, I'm going to call him Zach Attack, the momentum killer. That's pretty much what he is at this point. He in the doghouse with me, dog. When you kill the momentum of your team, when they have it going, you deflate drives. You give teams confidence. As my old football coach would say, you keep a coward around long enough, they bust you in the mouth. So guess what?
Right.
You're keeping a lot of cowardice teams around and you let them bust you in the mouth. You've got to change that. And Raheem, I'm going to stand up and say this here. Brother, as a coach, you've got to start being fiery and you've got to start being more transparent in your meetings when you have with the press. Start being a little bit more honest, because the more and more you keep singing and dancing, you ain't nothing but a chocolate version of Dan Quinn. That's really what you're looking like right now. And at this point, bro, understand this. Not many black coaches get retained like that. I want you to understand this, Raheem. You got a second chance because Terry believed in you. I'm going to tell you like this. I'm riding with you because you're here. I want you to do well. I want you to do this. But I'm holding your ass accountable like I did Arthur Smith, Dan Quinn, and everybody else. Just because you look like me in the shade of night doesn't mean I'm going to give your ass a pass, bro. Because I'm going to tell you up front, if it was up to me at that point, Steve Wilkes would have been my head coach. But I'm riding with you because you're here. I want you to succeed. I want you to bring a championship to this city, because guess what? You showed flashes of being smart and intelligent.
Right.
You showed this. I believe in you. Keep my belief in you, because once you lose that, it's like trust in a relationship. If you lose your trust in the relationship with your partner, it's done.
It's done.
And I'm not losing my trust in you, but I'm letting you know that red flags are already popping up with you, bro, this early. We believe in you. We want you to succeed, because if you just remember this, and I'm gonna end it on this. Eddie Robinson, the legendary Eddie Robinson, the great Eddie Robinson, the GOAT, talked about Paul Tank Younger, who I showed in Black History Month. He talked about Paul being the first being drafted out of an HBCU. And he said, you've got to make it, because guess what? Right. If you don't make it, it'll be a while before somebody else that looks like you gets an opportunity. You in a city that looks like you in a city that's got your type of vibe, and you got to make sure that you continue to keep doing what you're doing, because we believe in you. But you got to keep that belief going with everybody in this fan base, bro. Because when you make dumb decisions like you did yesterday, you pretty much put us in a situation where we can't trust you. So that's all I got. I appreciate y'all. Hopefully I didn't offend nobody, but if I did,
Bumper to
so
bumper,
the
baby.
hell what?
Bumper to bumper.
Bumper to bumper, baby.
Bumper. So the hell what? I'm honking the horn at your ass today. So tell the folks where they can find y'all, Tip and Smitty.
Hey, man, you already know A1 Forever Sports. That's a platform on YouTube, man. Come on over, like, comment, and subscribe, man. And just have a football, baseball, or basketball conversation. You know, we do all that over there. And want to thank Ryan and the BirdCage, the BirdCage LLC for having me on. Always a pleasure coming in here, you know what I'm saying, hanging out with the Dirty Birds, Also Instagram and Twitter, A1 Forever, and TikTok, the real A1 Forever. Make sure y'all find y'all peace today, man.
Thanks. Shout out to my boy Ryan BirdCage, man. Y'all, like I told y'all, man, hit the subscribe button, hit that notification bell, so every time you go live, y'all get content. Find me on the Smitty Sports Machine on YouTube. Find me on tomorrow night on the NFC South Roundtable. I have to clothesline TJ ass probably once and for all. Catch us Wednesday night, 9 o'clock. We're going to be kicking off the NFC South Roundtable, the Falcons Roundtable on NFC South. Please tune in because we need y'all to help that channel grow as well. And every Sunday after the game, post game, catch me, Chris, and Berto and the chat because we let y'all in on Sunday to blow to vent, pause to vent to talk about the game. And last Sunday, man, the Saints game, man, y'all full-fledged on fire, man. Y'all blew that shit up. We had, I think, 300 people at one point. So, look, man, just keep on tuning in, keep on helping us grow because we trying to bring Falcon content at its finest.
Yes, sir. Well, you know where you can find us at. We here every Thursday, 8 p.m. You either get right or you get left. For those that are tuning in, coming from Smitty and Tip's platform, check us out, YouTube, every Thursday, 8 p.m. Not without fail. And also, before every Falcons game, we got the pregame meal set up for the fans. And then afterwards, we have the party line of the benediction. Unfortunately, we had the benediction on Sunday. But, hey, I'm getting ready to open up another one for the crying-ass fans and call it the Kleenex box. I'm telling you now, y'all keep calling my damn phone and crying about the Falcons. Man. I'm opening up the Kleenex box. Damn it, we in first place. Stop crying. We got some stuff that we got to fix. It's okay. We going to fix it. We going to be all right. We just got to ride this out because guess what? If we wasn't winning right now, we'd be crying if we was losing and calling for Raheem's job. So again, we just got things we need to fix. Already. It'll be all right. We'll be all right. Just calm down. But as we said, we bid you adieu. Check us out this week, 8 p.m. You know how we get down. You either get right or you get left. It's the BirdCage. We out. Bumper to bumper. Peace.